What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with I guess like a meta update, a meta analysis video. We're doing PDS here. We're gonna be looking at ways to counter Blue Eyes because they seem like they're the top deck almost out of nowhere. One week they're nothing, the next week they're winning all the tournaments. So we're gonna take a look at the deck right now. How you doing, PDS?
Hey, I'm alright.
So what has changed so much that here we are? We're having to do a whole video on how to attack against Blue Eyes.
Yeah, so basically the deck went through a couple of changes in the list. So they adopted some lists if they can afford it. You know, they have the Book of Moons, and then they removed most of the discard traps. So in ranked, you know, you're probably gonna see people haven't caught up with it yet. They're still playing the Karma Cuts, you know, the Raigeki breaks. But in tournament play, we've seen everybody, you know, for the most part, has been switching over to Treacherous Trap Hole as their only trap card. And for that reason, it's allowing them to not get countered as hard by Abyss Dweller, which was the primary thing keeping it out of the metagame for about like a month or so, you know, since we got Abyss Dweller. So now they have Ancient Rules to just, you know, you summon Abyss Dweller, they're like, that's cute. You know, Ancient Rules, bring out the big blue eyes, just beat over it. They don't care about Abyss Dweller anymore. So it's more so that the stones are being used as a draw part as opposed to being the primary way to summon the blue eyes from the deck.
Right, because that was like the whole thing before. You had to get those stones in the grave that was like your engine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's just discard fodder.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's like a bonus, you know, like now it's not like, oh man, if I don't get this stone to resolve, I lose. It's like, if it resolves, I'm just going to be in a better spot now. So
right,
it's like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so with Blue Eyes winning so many tournaments, I think they won like 5 tournaments last week. They dominated the power rankings. We wanted to take a look at maybe how to counter Blue Eyes, or at least tech against them a little bit, right? And you came up with a list of like 8 or 9 cards that we're going to take a look at?
Right.
So what's your first one?
So the first one is the old reliable Light Imprisoning Mirror.
Okay.
This card is going to shut down Sage on the field. It's going to shut down Alternative. It's going to shut down all of their light monsters on the field and in the graveyard. Now, of course, this card only works against activated effects. So a card like Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon that has a continuous effect to not be able to be destroyed by battle, that effect is not going to get negated. But the effects to negate or to banish your monster if it doesn't die by battle, that's going to be negated. So this card is really good to just slow them down, especially when Sage is their normal summon. And it's going to stop the stones resolving in the graveyard. So it's really, really nice.
Okay,
so,
what's your next one on the list then?
Alright, so the next one on the list is going to be... So some of these cards serve like a similar purpose. So it's going to be Special Hurricane. It's going to be Fissure and Herald of the Abyss. So I'll start off with Special Hurricane. So this card is discard 1 card from your hand. Destroy all special summon monsters on the field. So the beauty of this card is you want to counter the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. So what happens is you activate Special Hurricane, you discard a card. So now they have a Spirit Dragon on the field. If they tag out into the Azure Eyes. If they tag out, that is an activated effect. So the Special Hurricane is going to blow it up before it can even protect itself.
Right.
Which is really, really good. So this card is also really good against a deck like Luna Lights. If your deck struggles against Luna Lights, this is a great card for that as well. And similar to Special Hurricane, we're going to have Fissure. So Fissure serves the same purpose as the Special Hurricane, except you don't have to discard. So the beauty of this card is that it is destroyed 1 face-up monster your opponent controls with the lowest attack. So the Synchros have 2,500 attack.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So
lowest, if they're tied, it's your choice, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this card they can play around though with if they leave like a Sage on the field, then yeah. But for the most part, this card is going to be used to counter the Spirit Dragon, because even if they chain to they're under the assumption that it's going to get protected, it won't get protected because that effect would activate in a new chain link, but it's not going to because it's already been destroyed because the chain has resolved. So nice. It's nice for that reason.
Obviously, on the ladder, we're still going to be people playing Maiden. So how does that interact with Maiden? It just destroys her?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even target.
Because as it reads, it just says destroy. It doesn't say target.
Exactly.
And Maiden's all about being targeted, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really good against that card as well. And then finally, Herald of the Abyss. It's very similar to Fissure, but it comes with the life point.
Right.
But so this card can have synergy with your deck. Like if you're playing Cyber Dragons, you definitely want to be taking that damage to use your Cyber style. So it's really good for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it works the same way with the Spirit Dragon. Even if they chain, it's still gonna leave the field, and it would also work for mate purpose.
Now that one's a little bit harder to get, right?
Yeah, Herald of the Abyss is gonna be a UR from
Warriors
Unite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah. So you have a couple options for your something to counter there. Their main goal now is to end on the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon turn 1. That is their main objective. So these are cards that will help you to get over that and beat that turn 1 board.
Okay.
So then another card, the next card we're going to be talking about is the Transmigration Prophecy. So this is going to be more so for those older, the older way to play the Blue Eyes, where they relied heavily on the graveyard.
Yep.
So this card lets you target 2 cards in your graveyard, shuffle those targets back into the deck. So, if they use stones
send them
during
back.
the end phase, just shuffle them back into the deck.
So
and this also works for some of your cards too.
I was going to say, as soon as they activate them and they start to try to use the effect, you can then just scoop them. And
no, you would have to do it before it triggers.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because if they trigger, they're still going to get their effect. So as soon as they go, like, you want to have your toggle on then?
Exactly, yeah. Like, it'll do it at the start of the end phase, basically.
Like, it's the beginning of the end phase. Do you want to activate a card?
Yeah, that's when you would do it, yep.
Okay.
Alright, and then the next card is... This is going to be a little controversial.
Oh, no, don't even say it. I see it on the list. Don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
So, as we've been seeing with the past, even in MCS, we saw people were playing Mystical Space Typhoon.
Yeah.
And then, that had me wondering, why would they be playing MST? It just doesn't, it wasn't making sense to me. So I went ahead and asked one of my friends, he's a really good player. And then he had told me that people are using MST because it counters the Treacherous Trap Hole. So then you're like, how does it counter Treacherous Trap Hole? So what it does is, instead of banishing the trap, you're going to send it to the graveyard. It gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So when you hit a trap card from the Blue Eyes, they're going to lose access to their Treacherous Trap Hole, which is huge because that is one of the only ways they really have to defend themselves with the
how does that stop the Treacherous Trap Hole when you destroy another trap? What does that do?
Yeah, so Treacherous can only be activated if there are no traps in the graveyard.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's really good for that.
So if you hit another trap and they have Tretch set, they're screwed. There's nothing
exactly.
they can do.
Yeah, exactly. They would have to, either early Tretch or just like, they're boned. Like they can't do anything.
So in that case, they'd end up using 2 cards. So either way, they're going to end up
losing 2 cards.
Losing 2 cards. Either they can't play one or they have to play it before they want to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so, if you dig into the new box, there you go. If not, that's all right. We got a lot of cards on this list for you. so the other 2 cards also serving similar purposes. Ally of Justice Psycho Reader and DD Crow. So Psycho Reader is
this the synchro monster?
Yeah, it's a tuner, the tuner.
Oh, the tuner, okay.
Yeah, so you can discard to the graveyard, target up to 2 light monsters in your opponent's graveyard, banish those targets. So it's really good against the stones, really good against, like alternative, whatever they have in the graveyard. Everything's light for them, so you can just banish anything that would advance their game state. And then DD Crow, same thing, but DD Crow is a lot more flexible versus other decks, where Ally of Justice is only good against Blue Eyes. DD Crow is good against, Fire Kings, a lot of decks, different decks. Even, like Noble Knights, you can get a nice DD Crow off. Even, Thunder Dragons, you can do a lot of stuff with DD Crow.
DD Crow, though, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's, UR.
DD Crow is a UR, guys. So that's why I'm giving you options here. You got a lot. Maybe you're a Special Hurricane kind of guy. Maybe you're a Fissure kind of guy.
Right.
And then finally, the last card I wanted to talk about was the Swordbreaker. So Swordbreaker has been making its way into Onomatopoeia side decks, and Thunder Dragons is another deck that can make use of this card. So it's the beauty of it is that you can declare 1 monster type, and then this card gains the following effect: at the start of the damage step, if the card battles a monster of a type that has been declared, destroy that monster. So what ends up happening is you declare Dragon, and then you can just go ahead and plow through all of their monsters, which is Swordbreaker.
So and there's no targeting involved there, right?
Exactly, yeah, no targeting. You just swing in and it pops it automatically.
Nice.
It's kind of like a sea stealth attack kind of effect.
Okay. Or if for all you old school guys, what was it? Super Rush Headlong?
Yeah, exactly. Super Rush is exactly like that. Yes, and of course there's going to be some on this that are not on this list that are really good. You know, like I went ahead and excluded Book of Moon because obviously not everyone's going to have it.
That's
but, you know,
an
it
easy
is
card to get. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's in a box. It's a UR in a box, but I mean, so are some of these other cards on the list.
True. Yeah, it's like you preemptively make them tag out. It serves for that. But
right.
yeah. So that is my list, boys.
So don't forget to get those Book of Moons. Probably the most affordable card on the list. All right, let us know what you guys think and what you're using to counter Blue Eyes. Maybe you have some spice PDS doesn't know about. I doubt it. But let us know what you're using. And while you're doing that, you should get in our Discord because it's awesome. It's free. The tournaments are free. Our sage-like advice like this is free. It's a good time. Oh, and subscribe. 54% of the people watching our videos aren't subscribed, and that makes me hurt.
Yes, please subscribe or I will have to hit you with the special hurricane on ladder.
Oh, man, don't do that.
I'm sorry, it had to be done. That's why you gotta subscribe so it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. I'm Circus. That's PDS.
Peace out.
We'll see you next time.